everybody, and today I'll be talking about The Man with a Plan, Chapter 16. So, start. In the communist Soviet Union, there was a mine, and the factory needed machines, but there were only half finished machines. So then the factory director explains that it was supposed to be coloured in red varnish, but they only had green varnish. So they were half finished, but eventually they got done because someone told the government to let them paint it green. Why not buy the red varnish? So there were no markets to buy red varnish, and the goods were all allocated by the central government, and the government decides what to make, how to make it, and who gets what. 1. Central planning. So market demand versus government orders. So the government tells everybody what to do, even though the market knows what it's better for them to make. The government tells them what to make, from even how many shoes to make and what size for the shoes and what type. They come from government orders, and the income is fixed, and everyone gets the same regardless of productivity. Even if you're really strong or really brainy, you still get the same amount if you're in communism. The problems are that the government, it has too much to handle because they might miss few stuffs out. So for example, if my mum went shopping and she has lots of things on her list to buy, but she always, it's very common that she misses 1 or 2 items that she needs to buy. It's the same with the government. They also have plans missed. And if that, then they have a shortage of goods. And then if that, then lots of people starve to death. Around 30 million starve to death. Number 2, why the problems? So when we talked about in section 1 the problems, it's why the problem. So some income offers, so for example, no identical. For example, even if they do the same, some people just have to do extra work for the communism, even though everyone gets the same. For example, so some people might not work that hard compared to others that work really hard, but they still get the same amount under communism. Mises, 1881 to 1973, questioned this viability of central planning in his article Economic Calculation in the Socialist Commonwealth. And he didn't think central planning could replace markets because there's too much information to handle, millions of people to look after, millions of goods, millions of ideas, and however, capitalism, the prices handle info. So the market handles the prices, not the government, because the government has too much to do under communism, so some stuff get mixed up. 3. Capitalism versus communism. This is a very well-known argument, So by the 1950s, 1/3 of the population was communism, and the people who are for, some thinkers thought that communism was an improvement on capitalism, and they were sympathetic to the ideology of an equal society because there's no such thing as an equal society really, and without exploitation of workers. Oscar Lange, 1904 to 1965, and Abba Lerner, 1903 to 1982, believed socialism was rational and markets. So there's a thing called Walras's equation, and they thought it was achievable. with advancement of mathematics and models. For in 2 I missed an example. So yeah, sorry. For example, there's a shortage of fish in the market, so then lots of fishermen will go to the sea to buy lots of fish. But when that because the price of fish is really high, but when there is a lot of fish, then the price goes down. So then they start buying lobster, for example, and then they go high. So the prices signal what to catch, when to catch fish or lobster. But like when the equal prices, supply and demand, meet in the middle, it's called an equilibrium, and that's really good. Okay, so back to where we were. So and against were Mises. Markets work with businessmen, and businessmen are like hands-in. They like prefer first-hand experience, rather than economists sit in armchairs and write papers. They don't really take the risk of losing money and stuff. Capitalism, he thought that capitalism was the only rational economic system. That's all for today. Bye-bye.